Hi guys, I'm Brendon Byrne with Hidden Ministries, and I'm answering another Q&A for you. And this time what someone wrote in was, what is okay physically in a relationship and how far is too far? Now this is a great question, and then I'm going to talk about beginning stages of relationship and if you've been going for a long time. But before I get into that, one of the most important things about this is a relationship means there's always two people, and so there's two people involved, and really it's three people because God really wants to be a part of it. And one of the best things you can do is both of you listen to God and have Him tell you specifically. Now you can take advice from someone like me or someone else, and that's always good to have guidelines and boundaries, but really you need to hear from God specifically for your relationship. So that being said, I'm going to give you some guidelines that I have that might help you out. One of the overall all-arcing guidelines that I have is a physical connection should be at the same level as your emotional and spiritual connection. So when you're just starting out, beginning stages of a relationship, you're not going to know them very much. They're not going to know you. Your emotional connection isn't going to be super strong, which is going to take time to build up. Now, what happens if you jump into the physical too soon? You start holding hands, you're holding each other, you start kissing, you start making out. And what happens is you build this physical intimacy, this physical connection that's way higher than your emotional and your spiritual connection. And it makes the relationship feel unsafe, unstable, and it's actually going to put strain on your relationship rather than letting it build up naturally together. So definitely want to progress your physical, even hand-holding, kissing. You want to progress that along with you realizing how much you like the person, realizing how much you're getting to know them, how much they're getting to know you. You want it to all progress along kind of at the same pace. Now, what about if you guys have been dating for a long time, or maybe you guys are even engaged? How far is too far physically there? Now, the hard thing about that is the longer you're with someone, you are getting deeper emotionally, you are getting deeper with one another spiritually, to where you want to be closer and even more intimate physically, and you're going to have desires to have sex or to do sexual things with one another. And that actually is really natural, and that's part of what God put inside of us to enjoy sex. But there's something special that God designed about sex, and it's we get to figure that out from why He even asks us in the first place to save sex for inside of marriage. And the biggest reason why is commitment. What's the difference between having sex in marriage versus sex outside marriage? There's that commitment that I pledge my life to you, in a sense of I'm with you through sickness and health, through everything. I'm pledging my life to you. And why does that make a difference when you're doing sexual things with one another? The biggest thing is sex is one of the most intimate acts you can do with one another. And even if it's oral sex, or if it's manually stimulating one another, it's still such an intimate act. It's something that God put inside of us that bonds us physically, emotionally, and spiritually to one another. And to have such a bonding act in a relationship where there isn't 100% commitment, if there's any doubt whatsoever, and the only way you can have that 100% commitment is in a marriage. If there's any of that doubt, it's gonna bond you to someone to such a degree, but they could leave at any moment, or you don't fully know if they're fully committed to you, and it creates this feeling of unsafety, oftentimes it causes people to try and cling on to a relationship even more, because now it's scary if they're going to leave or not have it, and it creates this kind of neediness rather than being this pure thing that you get to express once you're married. So when you're in a mature relationship, I know the desire sometimes is increasing so much more to want to do sexual things with another or just have sex, and that is natural, but you want when you enter into that with the person you're going to be with, you want it to be in a completely safe environment to where it's actually uplifting and building for the relationship. And the only way I've found where it's actually doing that is when there's 100% commitment, which happens in marriage. So those are some of my guidelines. Again, the physical connection should grow and increase while the other areas of connection grow and increase. Don't do the physical too fast. And those are some of my guidelines. Hopefully that helps you guys out. If you guys have any other questions, message us on Facebook and we'd love to answer them for you.